Yes. Okay, very good. So guys, this week we're going to be working on the week number 11, ready? And especially today, we're going to be working in our class 11.1, ready? So it's going to be the first class of the week 11. It means that we are about to finish this level and continue into the intermediate one, ready? The next week, you are going to receive a video. It's not so much for you, it's more for the other people who is in this level and they haven't continued with the course, so but you're going to receive it anyway. And it's telling you that the week 12 is the last week of the basic 2. Ready? So the week 12 is the last level of the week of the basic 2 level. And then after that, after the week 12, we continue with the week number 1 of the intermediate one. Ready?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah. I
going
see.
to be
I just saw that the intermediate one is unlocked, but I have to finish the week 12 to start
exactly.
that level.
Exactly. So we're going to you are the only person that have already activated. Like I suppose that Andrea is about to complete also, because remember that we have 3 requirements. The first one is that we require 90% of advance. So in the first part of your platform appears the percentage of advance, and it should be 90%. Also, we require 80% of the grades, right? So in that case, we have to have a grade over 80, ready? And the last requirement is that we have to approve 80% of the lessons. In the level basic 2 are, I think, 50 activities. So we have to complete 80% of the activities. It means that we have like a range more or less of 10 activities that we can fail, more or less, right? I'm not so sure exactly the number, but we have to approve 80% of the lessons in order to activate the next one. Ready? So that's like the 3 requirements to enter to the next level, which is intermediate one. Ready? So this week we have the week 11. The next week, the week number 12, it's only one class. And the next week, o sea, the week of the 17th of July, we are going to start with the intermediate one. Okay? The intermediate one, I mean, the first week of the intermediate one is going to have 2 classes, 1.1 and 1.2 for the first week of the intermediate one. Okay, guys, ready?
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Wonderful, very good. Well, today we're gonna be working on a like it's easy. Actually, it's an easy class. It's something that we have seen many times in other courses in the school. That's something that we have seen before. And I would like to start the class with a simple question. Manu, could you please help me to read, my friend?
Okay. What would you do if today were the last day of your life?
What would you do if today were the last day of your life? What do you think? Imagine for a second that today is the last, well, let's say tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day of your life. So what would you do in that case?
Well, eat a lot of food. It's important to eat a lot
Eat
of
a lot.
food, pass time with my family,
Spend time.
pass time with my family, and do things that never do in my life, like travel, something with adrenaline.
Okay, so I would say do things or exciting things, no? Like,
Exciting things, right? Yeah.
mhm. Okay, good. Listo, Manu, thank you so much. Andre, what about you? What would you do if today were the last day of your life?
Teacher, if today were my last day of my life, maybe I will say goodbye to my family. Will write my memories.
Wait, say goodbye and write your memories. Good. Well, in one
Yes.
day, maybe a short part, but yeah, like write your memories, no?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Anything else? Anything crazy? Anything strange? Anything with your money? What would you do with your money?
I don't know.
Spend all the
I-
money.
in that moment, the money is not important.
Yeah, of course. Well, for Maru, spend my money, no? So traveling and doing crazy things, spending all the money. But Andres is like, money is not important. Do you have kids? Do you have children?
No, teacher.
No. So, oh my God, I don't know. In my case, if today were the last day of my life, I would write my will. You know what is the meaning of will? I mean, will, it has many different words, no? So it has many different meanings. Will, of course, is for the future. No, we know I will do that. It's a possibility. But also will, as a noun, como sustantivo, it has different meanings. Do you know what is the meaning of will in this case?
No.
No.
Teacher, ¿no sería como testamento o algo así?
Very good.
Oh,
Will, in that case,
testament.
is my testament. Ready?
Yeah.
Will, as a matter of fact, it means voluntad. You know, when I say my will is, or like, I have will strength. You know what is the meaning of will strength? Pues fuerza de voluntad, right? Will strength. So will is voluntad. So when I say I will write my will, it means like I will write my testament. No, you like el testamento, yes, like my final will. So I would write my will, for example, and also I would spend some of my money doing crazy things like traveling to another country, or I don't know, maybe testing a roller coaster or something like that, right? Well, this question, do you think that is something real or is something imaginary?
No, it's real. Even it's a real question. Yeah,
It's
it's
a real
not
question,
imaginary.
but the question that, or the fact that tomorrow or today is the last day of my life, is it real or we are just making suppositions, crazy
No, it's a
suppositions?
supposition. It's
It's
a
a
real
crazy,
supposition. Yeah,
exactly. Well, actually, it's a crazy supposition because it's
yeah.
not very probable that tomorrow is the last day of my life, or it's not very
No,
probable that today is my last day of my life, right? So in this case, what we have, it's a question. It's what would you do? They are posting or they are placing a unreal situation. So we have an unreal situation here. Unreal situation. You know, so they are saying we have an unreal situation. In this case, the unreal situation is that today is the last day of your life. That's the crazy situation. It's imaginary. When I say something unreal, is that it's imaginary. It's something unlikely. Do you know what is the meaning of unlikely?
No,
Unlikely,
teacher.
no? Well,
no.
likely, it means probable or possible. Unlikely, it means something that it's very, very improbable, right? Like it's not very probable to happen, no? So something unlikely, right? Something that is imaginary. And under that unreal circumstance or under that unreal condition, they are asking you, okay, what would you do, right? So what they want to know, or what the question is pointing to, is to know a unreal consequence or imaginary consequence, right? Consequence, right? In this case, they're saying, hey, what would you do? What would be that crazy consequence of that crazy situation? And then you tell me, teacher, I would eat a lot. That's an unreal consequence. It's not real because you are not going to die today, nor tomorrow, right? So, but it's the unreal consequence of that unreal situation. Maybe possibly I would spend time with my family. Maybe possibly I would do crazy things. Maybe possibly I would write my will, no, in the crazy condition. Maybe Andrea would say goodbye to her family, and also it's a possibility that she would write her memories, no. All of these actions that we have here are crazy consequence that belong or that are caused for a crazy condition, the crazy condition that today were the last day of my life. So, sorry, in this case, we have two different parts. One part, which is a condition or a situation, right? And other different many parts, which are consequence, right? For every person is different, of course, but all of them are consequence of a crazy condition. So what we have here, it's something that we saw before. It's a conditional, right? It's a conditional because we have a condition, and from that condition we have a consequence. But it's a different condition because, or it's a different conditional because in the other one that we saw over the week 5, I think, we saw the conditional number 1. Yes, the conditional in which it's a real possibility. For example, what will you do if you lose your wallet? Losing the wallet is something possible. But here we are talking about the consequence of a crazy, hypothetical, unreal condition. So here we are going to have the second condition, right? So, oh my God, sorry, here. So talking about the second conditional, Andre, could you please help me to read this part?
Yes, teacher. We have to use the second conditional when we talk about hypothetical situations which are not very possible to happen. It means crazy conditions and what could be their crazy consequence.
Exactly, very good. So when we have second conditional, or we have to use the second conditional when we talk about hypothetical situations which are not very possible to happen. It's not very possible that today is the last day of my life, or it's not very possible that tomorrow is the last day of my life. It's a crazy condition. And that condition produces a crazy consequence. It's not real either. It's only imaginary. It's a supposition. So in that case, we're going to use the second condition. Ready? The conditional, as the first one, it's going to be composed by two different parts. The first part is the part of the condition, right? The condition, as I told you, is the situation, the imaginary situation that we have. In this case, for example, today were the last day of my life. That situation or that part is going to be introduced first with the expression if. What is the meaning of if?
Sí.
Sí.
Sí, but it's not a sí of affirmation, but it's a sí of condition. Si tal cosa pasa. No es una afirmación, sino una condición. Then we have the subject, and then we have the verb. Careful. Here it's imaginary, it's hypothetical, it's unreal. For that reason, the verb of the first part of the condition is going to be in past, right? For example, what would you do if today were the last day of your life? Past of verb to be. What would you do if you won a trip to any part of the world? Won, past simple of the verb win. So the verb in
Teacher,
the, yes, yes.
why with verb in past?
Yeah, that's a good question, right? So I'm gonna let you know in a second. So the verb is in past, and then we have the complement. Ahora, why the verb is in past? I don't know if you remember, but when we talk about unreal imaginary situations, we talk about the verb in past. Maybe you don't remember, but at the beginning of the level in the week number 2, we talk about wishes. Do you remember that we talk about wishes? About I wish I did, I wish I were. Do you remember?
Yes, teacher.
Bueno, when we talk about wish,
Yeah.
that is something that is unreal. Also similar to the second conditional. So every time that we're talking about something hypothetical or something unreal, we use the simple past for describing that it is not something real, that it's only something like, you know, imaginary, something from my mind, right? So for example, in the example of the wishes, I said, okay, I wish I had more money. It's real? No, it's imaginary. It's only hypothetical. So that's why we use the simple past. In this case, it's exactly the same. We talk about this, the verb in past, because it's going to be something imaginary. It's not real. Ready? But the verb in past is only the verb that is in the condition with if. Ready? On the consequence, on the consequence is not in past. The consequence, that is the second part, it's going to be composed by. The first part is the subject. Yeah. Can be the same subject as the beginning or can be a different subject. And then we have the modal verb. The modal verb, it's going to be would. In the majority of the cases, it's going to be would. right? But I can also use could or I can also use might, right? And the verb, since is after the modal verb, como es después de modal, siempre va en infinitive, right? O sea, the verb is in the form, in the basic form, and then we have the complement. For example, Andre, read the example number 1 here.
If I want a trip, I will go to Indonesia.
Indonesia. Muy bien, good. So
Okay.
in that case, so the question was, where would you go? Where would you go if you want a trip anywhere? Of course, in the question, the condition is going to be, the consequence is going to be first. Where would you go? We would, and the verb infinitive. Where would you go if you want a trip anywhere, right? So where would you go? The person says, if I want, very in past, a trip, comma, you know, the comma that is here, and then the consequence, I would go to Indonesia. Perfect, that's it, right? Number 2, this one, Manu, this example.
If I want a trip, I would travel to Japan.
Good. If I want a trip, vuelve y juega, if I want a trip, comma, I would, and then we change the verb. I can use the same verb, go, or I can use a different one, travel, no? So I would travel to Japan. Yeah. It doesn't matter because anyway, it's going to be the verb in infinitive. It is not in past, it's not with ing, no? The verb in infinitive after the would. Listo, después de would. That's it. Ready? Or it's a possibility to exchange the positions and have first the condition, first the consequence and then the condition. Andre, read this example, my dear.
I will go to Indonesia if I want a trip.
Wonderful. I would go to Indonesia, yes, consequence, if I want a trip. So I can have as I want. First the condition and then the consequence, or the other way, first the consequence and then the condition. Is exactly the same. The only difference is that if I have the condition first and then the consequence, I use a comma in the middle. If I use the condition, the consequence first and the condition later, if is going to be the connector of the two sentences. So in that case, I don't require a comma. Ready? And also it's a possibility, since in the question it's explicit, maybe in the answer I don't have to repeat the condition. I only answer with the consequence. Manuel, number 4, sorry, this one.
Yeah, I would visit Paris and go to Spain.
That's it, only the consequence. I would visit Paris and go to Spain. That's it, right? Same here.
Or maybe also I might visit Paris and go to Spain.
Yeah. What's the difference? When I say I would, it's like visitaría, haría tal cosa.
Yeah.
When I say could and might, it's podría hacer tal cosa. And it's less possible, but it's basically the same, no? So if I say, for example, if I want a trip anywhere, I could visit Paris, right? So podría visitar París. No se puede en todos los casos, pero en la mayoría sí se puede. Pero digamos que en la mayoría de casos uso would, right? ¿Listo? Hasta ahí, como on. Good questions, difficulties, problems. Manu, fine.
Good.
Okay.
Fine.
Good teacher.
Very good. Andre, was it clear why we use past? Was it clear? More or less?
Yeah, teacher. Yes.
Very good. That's it.
It's for the imaginary situation.
Exactly. It's because it's an imaginary situation. That's it, right?
Yes.
Well, good. So this conditional, it's going to be talking about crazy conditions, not like something that is not realistic, right? So for example, let me help you here with another question. Over here, we're going to have other different questions. Andre, choose a number from 1 to 17. From 1 to 17, choose a number. Which one? Sorry, I didn't listen. Sorry. From 1 to 17.
Teacher, 10.
10. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What would you do if you were the leader of your country? what would you do if you were the leader of your country? I mean, the president in this case in Colombia. What would you do if you were the president of Colombia?
Hmm. Well, if I were the leader of my country, I would change the health, uh, education, and how do you say pension?
Like retirement? No, pension. That's all right,
Retirement,
pension.
pension
Mhm.
systems.
Ah, good. Okay. So if I were, let's say, president, president, comma, I would change, wait, sorry, I would change education, pension system, health, yeah, like all different parts of the country. Good, very good. So in that
Yes.
case, it's imaginary, So we said, if I were, of course, we know Andrea is not the president of the country. She's a great environmental engineer, but she's not the president. So that's only imaginary. And then she's saying like, in that situation, I would change, right? I would change the education, I would change the pension, I would change the health, but it's not real. It's only imaginary. Ready? Good. Thank you so much. And Manu, one number from 1 to 17, my friend.
One. One.
One.
Yes.
What would you do if you could travel back in time to the past? What would you do if you could
If
travel back in time?
okay, if I could travel back in time, I could change something in the change something on the history moment.
Okay, okay. I would change
Change some
historical
history moment.
moments. Okay,
Yeah,
historical moments. Okay.
historical moment.
Yeah, maybe you can change, you could avoid a tragedy, maybe, no? So
Yeah,
maybe you could avoid that tragedy. Good, excellent. Excellent at
yeah,
that. So it's imaginary, of course, it's not real. Nobody is going to travel in time, back in time so far, no, maybe in the future. But in this case, we're talking about like, okay, what would you do? Something crazy, and then you tell. Ready? Remember that in this case, guys, it's going to be different from the first conditional. Why? Because in the first conditional, we used to use the verb in simple present and the auxiliary, sorry, the modal verb will, can, and may. In this case, is the past, no? So we use the verb in past and the modal verbs would, could, and might, which is, of course, very clear, the past of will, can, and may. And here, of course, is the verb in present. Ready? The use of the first conditional is for realistic possibilities, things that can happen, no? What will you do if tomorrow rains again? It's a possibility. Today rained, yesterday rained, so it's a possibility that tomorrow is going to rain. So what will you do if tomorrow rains again? If it rains tomorrow, we will be very cold. Something possible. No, it's not crazy. It's not imaginary. It's something possible. But on the other hand, with this one, with the second one, we are talking about something completely different, something completely imaginary and like supposed. Yeah, it's not something realistic. Ready? Guys, hasta ahí,
yeah,
easy the difference between first conditional and second conditional? All good?
yeah. When it's something real, something which has a past, they use the verb in future because it's real, and when it's a condition, when it's a supposition in past, verb in
Good,
past.
good.
Like
But remember, when it's in the first conditional, it's not in future, it's in present. Present simple.
yeah,
And the consequence is going to be with will, can, or may.
becomes
Yes, with
okay.
will, can, or may. And in the past, would, could, or might, and the verb is in past. Ready? So that's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
It's very good. Something that we have seen here and that we saw in the other examples, in these examples, is that when I say, for example, what would you do if you were the leader of your country? And Andre told me like, if I were president, ¿cierto? In that case, she used were, but as far as I know, hasta donde yo sé, the past of verb to be for I, it was. hasta donde yo sé. Andre, can you tell me why did you use were in this case? Porque usaste were. It's not bad. It's actually correct. But why?
Teacher, I don't know. I suppose because is that is the structure for the second conditional,
Kind of. When
but
we
I don't know
She follows
really.
your instinct.
she follow her instinct, yes, exactly.
Her
So careful. When we have the verb to be in the in the second conditional and in the unreal situation, yes, the verb to be, only the verb to be, not the rest of the verbs. The rest of the verbs are going to be in past. That's it. But the verb to be, it's going to be where for all the pronouns. All. I were, you were, he were, we were, they were. All the pronouns are going to be where. In this case, this is a mark of unrealistic situation. That in this case, we never use was, right? For example, I could say, si fuera tú, if I were you. ¿Se han escuchado esa expresión? If I were you.
Yeah.
Si fuera tú. Obviamente no soy tú, es imaginario, es imaginario. Por eso es con simple past, pero el simple past imaginario. O sea, if I were you, ¿cierto? Obviamente yo sé que con simple past en el pasado normal, pues digo I was taller, I was calm, I was qué, pero cuando es unreal, I use were siempre que quiera usar el verb to be. For example, here, what would you do if today were? Aquí debería haber sido was, porque si es today, es un día, debió haber sido was. Pero no, porque es unrealistic. So, what would you do if today were the last day of your life? Ahora, paréntesis. Esto es una regla que no todas las personas conocen. Por lo tanto, es probable que hablando con un nativo, si la persona de pronto no habla muy estándar, sino tiene una variación muy marcada, ya sea de pronto vernácula, lo que sea, una variación, como decir acá, muy paisa o muy costeño o algo así. Si estamos hablando con un nativo, es probable que use if I was you o I wish I was, ¿cierto? I wish I was o if I was you o ese tipo de expresiones usando was, ¿cierto? Aunque gramaticalmente está mal, muchas personas lo usan así. ¿Ready? Entonces, ¿cuál es lo correcto? Usar where cuando estamos hablando del segundo condicional y de situaciones irreales, como por ejemplo en los deseos. ¿Listo? Siempre que esté hablando de verb to be. Pero los nativos muchas veces usan simplemente I wish I was, if I was. Es como que no tienen esa excepción clara en sus cabezas. ¿Vale? Entonces, para que lo tengan en cuenta, no es que esté,
Okay.
digamos, mal, ni que lo que les enseñemos no está bien, sino que muchas personas no tienen esa excepción clara en su cabeza, ¿vale? ¿Listo? ¿Ready?
Okay.
Para que no se asusten, don't worry. Bueno, questions ahí, difficulties, problems, no? All fine?
Fine. Fine.
No,
Bueno, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions more. What would you do? Actually, you're going to read it again over here. Manuel, help me with to read this question, the first one over here.
How would be your life if you were a doctor?
Exactly. So the question, you know, with would, yeah. How would be your life if you were, once again, where if you were a doctor? Think in your life. If I were a doctor, I wouldn't have time for my family at all. If I were a doctor.
Yeah.
That's my perception. What about you?
Well, if I were a doctor, maybe uh, mm, I was optometry. Uh, no,
Wait,
if
ophthalmologist or eye doctor?
ophthalmology. A doctor is specialist in ophthalmology. Right.
Okay, good. We have
In this case,
ophthalmologist
if
or
I,
eye doctor.
yeah, eye doctor. If
Mhm.
I were a doctor, I will be a eye doctor.
Okay, very good. That's great. Very good. Excellent. Andre, what about you? How would be your life if you were a doctor?
teacher, if I were a doctor, I were very difficult for me to see about.
To see what, sorry?
A blood.
I didn't understand that part. It would be difficult for me to
Sangre.
see.
Teacher sangre.
¿Sante? Sangre,
Sangre. Ver
sangre, sangre,
sangre.
perdóname, ya te entendí, sangre, sangre. Good, I'm very deaf, soy medio sordo, okay. Good, very good. Entonces, mira, este es diferente, ese ejemplo es diferente. You said, first the condition. If I were a doctor, that's the condition, ¿no? So if I were a doctor, it, careful, después de una condición, no iría en pasado, sino con would, ¿cierto? Entonces, sería, it
Ah,
would
yes, yes,
be,
yes.
it would be difficult for me, difficult to see blood, ¿no? Muy bien, that's it. So if I were a doctor, it would be difficult to see blood. Great, excellent, that's it. Now, next question, Andre, could you please help me to read it?
What will you happen if you use fret, depression, and anxiety?
Read it again, because look that it's not what would you, but what would happen. No you. Here is not you. So
What will happen?
what would happen if you suffer depression and
Suffering
anxiety?
depression,
What do you
anxiety.
think?
Teacher, I think that I will mm, I will look for psychology.
Good. I would look for psychological help, I suppose. Right.
Yes.
Oh my God, sorry. Psychological help. Very good. So careful. All of this is imaginary. So expressions like this one are going to be all the time around. Great. I think that she's not, it's not sure because it's imaginary. So that's why she said like, I think that, right? I think that I will look for psychological help. Good, Andre. Thank you so much. Manu, what about you, bro?
Well, in my case, if I suffer depression and anxiety, I will take some pills for that.
Okay, I would take some pills for that. That's it. Very good. Also imaginary. So in that case, it's not
Yeah,
real. It's just what he supposed that he would do. Ready?
yeah,
Questions over here, difficulties, problems?
no.
No, is that all
No,
right?
teacher.
Good, excellent. Notice that in this case, I decided to have the questions always at the beginning with the condition, but it's not necessary. I can also change the question over here. For example, I would say, if you were a doctor, of course, if it's in the beginning, in the middle, I have comma, no? So if you were a doctor, comma, how would be your life? It's exactly the same question, but using the other different structure, but it's exactly the same question, the same in here. If you suffer depression and anxiety, comma, what would happen, right? So you can make questions and actually answers too in both ways, using first the structure and then the consequence, first the condition and then the consequence, or first the consequence and then the condition, as far as you want. Ready? So it's pretty simple. Ready? Questions over there? No? All fine?
No, fine.
Good, excellent, very good. Guys, I'm going to write here a couple of situations, and what I want you to do is simply to tell me if you think that it's a first conditional or second conditional situation, for saying it like that, right? So let me write it here. Wait, sorry, right here. So, it's right here. For example, if you, let me just move it over here. If you move abroad, do you think that that is possible or crazy? Is it first conditional or second conditional?
Possible.
Exactly. So I just use it in simple present because it's possible, no? So if you move abroad, let's say you will have a, no say, a better life. Yeah, you will because it's first conditional. So that's why I use will. No, it's something possible. What about if I say if you have superpowers? What do you think? Possible or imaginary?
Imaginary.
Imaginary.
So
So
it's
what can I change here? Oh, is that all right? Or do I have to change something?
um, uh, you if you have superpowers, you had amazing life.
Okay, wait.
Something
You
like
will? We will?
yeah, would
Yes.
would no. If you have superpowers, you would have an amazing life.
Wait a second. You would had? Así, like that?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think. I'm not sure, but I think.
Amazing life. What do you think, Andre? Is that all right? Analyze it,
Teacher,
analyze it.
the conditional, it's not right for me.
Why not? What have to change?
For the verb, have,
What happened with that verb?
is in present.
Should it be in past?
Yes.
Very good. Manu, the verb that is in past is the first one. Is the one that is with the condition.
Oh,
If.
yeah.
The one that is after would is always in infinitive. So we have, if you
Teacher,
had superpower. Yes,
Yeah.
Andre.
I have a question.
Dime, of course.
You can mm, you can do the same question for both conditional.
Of course.
For example, for move abroad, and it will be understood as an offense.
Like, what I don't get it. Like, if you make the
Por
answer the
ejemplo,
question with the first conditional.
si yo hago la misma pregunta, pero la hago en el segundo condicional, estoy
No, está
diciendo
bien.
que yo me imagino que en tu vida no te podrías ir al extranjero. Entonces, eso se podría
No,
entender como una, o pues puede
no,
pasar o...
depende de la. Sí, claro que sí, porque depende del contexto de las personas, ¿no? Entonces, pues tú preguntas porque no sabes si es seguro o no es seguro, ¿cierto? Entonces, por ejemplo, voy a preguntarte a ti, yo no sé si lo tienes planeado o no. Para mí es improbable. So, if you moved abroad, lo puedo preguntar en pasado porque puede ser segundo condicional y no es ofensivo, simplemente es algo que pues yo no estoy seguro, así que no estoy seguro si es
Ok,
muy probable o muy,
pero
o
se puede.
sí, claro que sí, of course. De hecho, esa era la siguiente parte. Hay preguntas, of course, hay sí, condiciones que dependen del contexto. Si somos dos personas en un aeropuerto, muy probable que la pregunta sea en first conditional. Si somos dos personas en prisión, que pues estamos encerrados, obviamente la pregunta muy seguramente va a ser en segundo condicional, algo que es irreal. ¿Listo? Entonces, pues depende mucho del contexto, se pueden hacer varias preguntas, o sea, es decir, la misma situación en las dos diferentes condicionales, depende del contexto de los hablantes, ¿vale?
Ok.
Listo, my dear. Bueno,
Okay.
very good. Another one. If you, if you, I'm gonna write it in infinitive, and then you tell me if it's past or present, depending on you. If you be more intelligent, do you think that it's possible? It's hypothetical, it's
Teacher,
imaginary.
it's possible.
It's
Possible.
possible, yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I would say that the person is intelligent and has a capability. Maybe if the
Yeah.
person, like I would say, if you be
responsible?
Be responsible, I think it's possible because you just have to change your habits, no? But I think
Yeah.
that be more intelligent, maybe it's difficult because you will have to change your brain, no? So I would say the people is intelligent. Maybe what they are not is responsible, right? So that's what I believe, no? So the people is intelligent. They are all intelligent, but like it's like difficult to be more intelligent because that's a capability that we don't have. But we can change some habits that we can make us, for example, more responsible, more disciplined, more dedicated, no? Like, but intelligent, like the skill of the intelligence, I think that that's predetermined, no? But well, let's see. Anyway, in this case, if the situation is if you be this one, if you be more responsible, let's suppose that this one is possible. So how would you change the be?
If you have, maybe, if you have
You
more.
think so?
mm,
The verb is to be, not to have. So what is the what is the present of be?
Presence B is forget is gosh, yeah, I forget.
Don't worry, Adri, what do you think?
Sure, is the responsible is the first conditional
Yeah, girl, yeah.
because it's possible. Okay, if you are more responsible.
Exactly. If you are, that's the present.
R.
That's the present of the verb
Yeah.
to be, right? So if you are more
Yeah,
responsible, right?
you're
And this
more.
one, which is a little bit more imaginary,
Where?
if you were more intelligent, right? So, like in this case, that's the difference with the verb to be that we don't have with the other verbs, no? Like in the verb to be, we have to change in present and in past. In the other verbs, no, if it's in present, well, it's the same verb, no? So, but if it's in past, then it changes. But that's a little bit different
Yeah.
with the verb to be. Ready?
In
Good.
this case, if you are more responsible, is the first conditional. The answer will be you will have more intelligent because in that order. No,
Maybe you would say, for example,
maybe
let's say if you're more responsible, sorry, you'll be better at school.
that's good. Well, yeah,
Good, yeah. The same we could use here. If you were more intelligent, you would be better at school. I don't know, it's an
okay.
example. No? So the difference is that first, the conditional number two, first part, it's in past, right? Let me just move it over here. A ver, wait. Okay, now, if the first part, it's going to be in the past, second condition. The second part is with the modal verb would, second condition. The first one, no. The first one is simple present, and the second one is with will. Simple present, the second one is will. Simple past, the second one is would. Ready? So what we have here, it's an image. Wait, an image here, this one. It's a comparison between the first conditional and the second conditional. So it says first conditional, conditional number one, a possible situation in the future predicting a likely result in the future, but if the condition happens, but it's a possible situation, no? If you study, you will pass the exam. If it rains, we will cancel the trip. Second conditional is hypothetical or unlikely situation. Remember that unlikely is improbable, right? Unreal or improbable, actually, here is situations now or in the future. In the first part, with the past, if I won the lottery. In the second part, with would, I would travel a lot. If they sold their house, simple past, they would be rich. Would and then the verb in past. The verb would and then the verb in infinitive. So, questions about the difficulties, guys, problems, anything? Is it everything clear or not? Or what do you think?
No, it's clear. So in my case, sometimes I forget some verbs, so I have to study more.
Okay, no worries. Something that we have to work on, but it's a good idea. I mean, it's easy as far as you have the grammar clear, then it's going to be easy. Ready? So we have conditional number 1, conditional number 2, conditional number 3 is for the next level, okay? For the intermediate one, we're going to see the conditional number 3. So the conditional number 0 is easy because it's just things that never change and both parts have simple present. For example, if you heat water at 100 degrees, well, in like normal conditions, if you heat water at 100 degrees, what happens?
Heat is like to take, to drink, something
Heat
like that.
is calentar
Heat, you heat the water.
at
It's
100 degrees, Celsius degrees.
the water is boiling.
Good, exactly. So if
So
you
the
heat
water is
water at
boiling.
100 degrees, the water boils. It's
Boils,
something, yeah, boils is simple present. Look, simple present in both parts because it's something that never changes, no? So if you start in the rain, you get wet. Si te paras bajo la lluvia, te mojas, fin. Si calientas hielo, se derrite, that's it, no? So it's going to be simpler. It's a fact or a condition that is always true. Okay, so it's always has the same result. Okay, that's the conditional 0. It's not very used, it's like more for science and those things. But then that's why we started with the conditional 1 and the conditional number 2. Stop. Guys, is it okay? Is it fine? Questions, difficulties? No? All right.
No, I understood. Well, in the second class is repeat that class or is another part?
Is another part. And actually, I'm going to ask you something. We have 2 different modal verbs for the next part. So we have would. We know that it's ia, you know, like for changing the verb. And we have should, right? You have a little homework. Tiene una tarea pequeñísima. Guys, find what is the past of these verbs. ¿Cuál es el pasado de would y cuál es el pasado de should? Eso es lo único que tienen que hacer de tarea. ¿Listo? Nothing else. No tienen que hacer ejercicios ni nada. Simplemente cuál es el pasado de would y cuál es el pasado de should. ¿Será que tiene? ¿Será que no tiene? No sé. Vamos a ver qué pasa. ¿Listo? Entonces averigüen a ver si estos dos modal verbs tienen pasado o no tienen pasado. ¿Listo? ¿Ready? Okay, that's the homework.
Okay, teacher. Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Bueno, my dear people, entonces for today, that's it. See you on Thursday, tomorrow. I don't remember. I think it's on Thursday, no?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's on Thursday, ready. So see you on Thursday, guys, and have a wonderful night. Sleep tight, rest, and go advancing on the activities. And if you have any questions, problems, or whatever, text me. I will be attentive of your messages, okay? So guys, have a wonderful night. See you Thursday, okay?
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you,
See you
teacher.
later.
See you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.